Hi, I'm Mark Skelly.
And I'm Zenon Teixeira.
I'm with Opus Americas.
And I'm from across the pond from Opus London.
And we've got the fortunate job today to interview Mr. Hefner here at the Playboy Mansion in Los Angeles, California.
And we're here to celebrate a very special event, and that's the launch and the announcement of the Playboy, the official Playboy Opus, where we're going to be celebrating 60 years of Playboy, Mark.
And we're out to create the single most definitive publication the world's ever seen.
But obviously we're here to celebrate the Opus, the Playboy Opus, and we are excited about it at Opus because we're going to celebrate 60 years of one of the most important publications we think the world has seen, especially in the last few decades. It's changed so many people's lives, how it's portrayed so many different cultures and welcomed people. We just wanted to ask, we're going to be getting access to archive material from the photographic archives in LA, from your scrapbooks, never before seen content. Can I ask how important it is and how excited you are to have all this in one definitive publication?
Well, I think it is a way of celebrating the fact that it is, more than half a century plus, and the Opus collection does that.
It does. Hopefully, we will try and do it a lot of justice and try and show some of the imagery on a large format that it will hopefully come to life in a way it hasn't done before. So we're very excited about trying to do that. I know Mark has a question for you. Mark?
I know you would have been successful at whatever you chose, but why the initial push to start this publication in 1953?
Well, I was in a typical less than satisfactory and less than happy marriage. Had served in the Army during World War II, had completed college, and felt my life was going nowhere. But I was a dreamer. And in the weeks immediately before thinking about starting Playboy, I had returned to my high school for an alumni gathering. And that sparked in me the dreams that I'd been put away. And quite literally, in the weeks and months that followed, in the early part of 1953, I started thinking about starting a sophisticated men's magazine, with no notion, of course, of that it would succeed or what it would lead to. I was so uncertain, as a matter of fact, that I had just enough money borrowed from friends, relatives, etc., to put out just that first issue. So the first issue had no date on it because I wasn't sure there would be a second issue.
But was that in 1953?
That was 1953, and it was undated. It would have been, if it had a date on it, it would have been December of 1953.
Absolutely amazing.
You're double teaming me
We are,
here.
we're double teaming you. We wanted to get the London and the LA accent across today. By 1959, Playboy was selling over 1 million copies an issue. Fantastic. Yet you still decided to make one massive change in your life. As you said, you've come out from behind the desk and you lived the lifestyle of the Playboy and the... Why did you do that?
Well, I did not really recognize before the fact what a dramatic impact it was going to have on my life. But I had separated from my wife some years before that, and the marriage, the divorce came through, and she remarried in 1959. And that gave me permission to some extent, live the life. But I didn't anticipate. In other words, a series of events occurred in the space of half a year that changed everything for me. for the 5th anniversary of the magazine, we held a jazz festival in Chicago that turned out to be the most definitive jazz festival of all time. And that was in August and summer of 1959. In the months immediately after that, I started hosting a syndicated television show called Playboy's Penthouse, bought the first Chicago mansion, the first Playboy mansion in Chicago, and, as you say, came out from behind the desk and started living the life. Yeah. And in February of 1960, opened the first Playboy Club. As a result of the combination of those 3 events, my life changed forever.
Absolutely.
Based on that, I know you have a great sense of humor. If you could pick 4 people to come to the mansion for an evening at any time in history, who would those 4 people be?
Well, that's something I've never been asked, and I have no idea.
4 people.
I've never thought particularly in terms of but I was very much influenced by the movies and grew up with my idols coming out of the golden age of Hollywood. So it'd probably be a gathering of Hollywood stars, probably Marilyn Monroe, Humphrey Bogart, and probably Loren Bacall to go along with Bogey, and maybe Cary Grant.
I'd like to be there for that evening also. Well said. Thank you very much.
My
I
pleasure.
appreciate that.
So can we ask you one question, which is possibly one of the most important questions? For a man of today, 2012, 60 years on, who wishes to aspire to be a playboy, do you have any words of advice on how he should live his life?
I think it has to do with dreams. It has to do with pursuing those dreams, and I think that should start very early in life. And it doesn't have much to do with wealth. It really has to do with just holding on to the path that there are so many things in society and peers and family, etc., that try to dictate a life and a path to be tread. But I think that one should follow one's own personal dreams because we only have one time around.
Indeed.
And one of the things that I have expressed early on is live your own dreams. Don't try to live somebody else's.
Fantastic.